And as Kristen said, happening right now, the Tres Lagunas fire burning near Pecos has grown to 8,500 acres as of last night. And this morning, the threat remains high, with flames coming dangerously close to some homes. Here is what else we know. Fire officials have said they are not reopening Highway 63 to homeowners anytime soon. Between 6 and 10 permanent homes and 130 summer homes were evacuated Thursday night. Fire crews are only letting people back in for short periods of time and only under special conditions. The big concern for firefighters is the fire changing directions. With containment only at 7% last night, some homes are just 3 miles from the flames. And the fire may be more active today because humidity is going to be low and temperatures are going up.
Well, the other fire burning in the Jemez keeps growing as well. The Thompson Ridge fires burned nearly 3,300 acres just north of Jemez Springs. There is a community update scheduled for tonight at the Madonna Parish Hall on Highway 4. The Thompson Ridge fire spread more than 1.5 miles yesterday, in part because of lower humidity and higher winds. It is 5% contained right now. Most of the homes being threatened are on the west side. People in 3 communities there are still under evacuation orders. And there are 2 smaller fires burning in the Manzanos. The Park Trail fire on the west side of the mountains is east of Meadow Lake. As of yesterday, it had burned 0.2 of an acre. Single-engine air tankers dropped retardant along the steep and rugged terrain. Then on the east side of the Manzanos, firefighters have the Bosque fire under control. It's burned just 1/10 of an acre. It is believed that lightning started both of these fires. Elizabeth?
It is kind of a no-brainer, but fireworks are banned this summer in Albuquerque. It is bone dry out there, and we have been in a 3-year drought. So City Council unanimously passed a measure last night banning most fireworks that shoot up or out, like firecrackers or Roman candles. The same ban was in effect last year before the 4th of July. The measure must still be signed by the mayor before it goes into effect, and he has got 10 days to do that or veto it. Well, on a slightly different note this morning, have you noticed all the dead trees along Manal in Albuquerque?
Yeah, we sure did, and we found out they're costing the city thousands of dollars, all thanks to brass thieves. The city says brass valves ripped off from the irrigation system along 13 blocks of Manal. Workers didn't realize it had happened until they started getting calls about the trees dying. Some of them are 25 years old.
With the drought situation that we've got now and the extremely dry air, any of the plant material ends up dying or ends up stressing out relatively quickly.
City's replacing the brass irrigation valves with ones that lock. It's also painting others black. They cost $700 a piece. It's costing thousands to rehabilitate the trees and replace those that have died.
Governor Susana Martinez is in Washington, D.C. today talking education and raising some money. Martinez and 2 other governors were invited by the Washington Post to the Reading Milestones Literacy event. Martinez is pushing for a law which would force 3rd graders to be held back unless they can read at a 3rd grade level. So far, New Mexico legislators have not approved the idea. CNN reports Governor Martinez will also be fundraising in D.C. and hobnobbing with power brokers, including House Speaker John Boehner, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, former Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld, and others. Well, new information out this morning about what may have led to an 8-year-old girl's murder in Albuquerque.
Investigators say David Candelaria Sr. and Jr. were four-wheeling with friends when they got stuck in the sand on Friday. Candelaria Jr. says they were looking for a ride and ran into a man on his way to pick up Sunni Reza, her dad and uncle at the Alamosa Community Center. That man says he thought the Candelarias were trying to carjack him, so he took off. After that, police say there was another confrontation where the uncle stepped out of the car and shouted at the father and son. That's when police say Candelaria shot at the car, killing Sunni Reza. Now, Candelaria Jr. is still in jail this morning. This after being in court yesterday on tampering with evidence and conspiracy charges.
He has a failure to appear history, and he does have a history that involves the use of weapons. I think that a $100,000 cash or surety bond is appropriate.
The older Candelaria is charged with murder. He's still in the hospital, though, because he got bit by a canine during a SWAT standoff on Sunday when police arrested him. Well, jury selection in the murder trial of a former Albuquerque police officer could get started today.
Talking about Levi Chavez, he's accused of killing his wife Tara in Los Lunas home nearly 6 years ago and staging it to look like a suicide. She was allegedly about to report him for insurance fraud. Well, on Monday, a judge ruled on what the jury will be allowed to hear. Prosecutors will be allowed to talk about Levi's extramarital affairs and his conduct after Tara died. But the judge still has not decided if the statements Tara made to friends and family can be heard.
Then Tara just said, if anything ever happens to me, Levi did it.
Before ruling whether testimony like that will be allowed, the judge wants to review new depositions the defense introduced. He is expected to make that decision today, then start jury selection. Just so you know, more than 200 potential jurors have been summoned for the trial, which could last about 5 weeks. That, no doubt, is a high-profile trial for us right here in New Mexico.
It is one of the highest profile murder cases in the state, so probably in the last 4 or 5 years, without a doubt.
Yeah, the time right now.